Oh, I didn't know that.
This one.
Oh, I thought this one, the bottom one. Oh, okay.
You didn't get it here?
No, nothing is happening here. That's why I'm looking here.
The loose cable here. Just wipe that out.
Okay,
Okay. One more time.
okay. नमस्कार, कार्यक्रम में आप सभी का स्वागत है। और जैसा कि पिछले हफ्ते आप सभी त्योहारों में बहुत व्यस्त रहे होंगे, दिवाली हो के चुकी है। आशा है कि आपकी दिवाली बहुत आनंदमय होगी और खूब आपने आनंद उठाया होगा, अच्छा खासा खाना पीना भी हुआ होगा। तो अब उस खाने पीने के बाद हमको अपने शरीर का भी ध्यान रखना चाहिए। तो हम आज बात करेंगे आयुर्वेद के बारे में, और उससे पहले कि हम आयुर्वेद के बारे में बात करेंगे, लेट मी इंट्रोड्यूस यू टू आवर गेस्ट टुनाइट, एंड शी इज़ सीमा साहनी. Seema, you know, she's a young girl, and it's very interesting when I first met her, because not many kids who are born and brought up in this country will go for Ayurveda. She's not only choose Ayurveda, and she went for the studies, and she's a practitioner Ayurvedic doctor also. So welcome to the program, Seema.
Thank you.
And you know, I'm so curious. You are born and brought up here.
Yes.
Had no connection with Ayurveda whatsoever, and all of a sudden here you go and you picked up Ayurveda as your study. Why?
I always knew what Ayurvedic medicine was. In our home, we've always practiced home remedies rather than the typical over-the-counter allopathic medicine. Mm-hmm. So I always knew what Ayurvedic medicine was. I actually was studying advertising the first couple of years of my college years in the city. And one day my father approached me and told me to think of Ayurvedic medicine. So he took me throughout the city and Long Island to visit all these different types of Ayurvedic lectures and conventions. And to me, it was a little bit, you know, taken aback, because it's like how someone like me, born and brought up in New York City, can grasp this type of a knowledge when it's so ancient. So we looked into all these colleges, and we decided on Maharishi University of Management. That's where I graduated from, in Fairfield, Iowa. And
you know, people can be a little bit skeptical about this Ayurveda, Maharishi University and all that,
Right.
because still not many people, even they are Indian or South Asian, not very open to Ayurveda.
Right.
And although we all practice some sort of home remedies at home. So how did you counter from advertising to Ayurveda? And people must have, your contemporaries must have said, why Ayurveda? So how did you convince yourself plus everyone else around you?
My father had a calling that this is what I had to do. So I think he knew, he had a really good intuition that I'd probably be good at it. And I did graduate top in my class, so there was a plus side to that too.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
So how many years did you spend there?
It's a 4-year program. It's the basic courses that you take for a college student, and then 2 years of Ayurvedic medicine. It was a pretty long, intensive program where we had to learn how to diagnose the pulse properly, and herbs and spices and diet and lifestyle for every type of individual. So it was a really good course, and I'm actually very happy that I went, because I believe Ayurveda is going to be booming very soon, hopefully. I've been waiting for it to boom even more, but booming even more, so better than it did before. Just, I think it's going to take off.
I'm sure, because you know, you see mainstream TV, you see all that advertisements about different Ayurvedic products.
Yes, you do.
And you go to these spas or massage centers.
Yeah.
They have all these different oils and different kind of techniques of massaging.
Right.
And these are just the things which we can apply in our day-to-day life. These are not even the herbal medicines which we're talking about.
Yes.
Do you agree with that?
I agree with you. Well, the simplicity of Ayurveda is very important, and it's anything that an average person can follow, rather than making it complicated for any individual. Even the fast-paced, high-tech, stressed-out person in New York City can do and go follow these dietary guidelines and these basic lifestyle guidelines of Ayurveda.
You know, when we went to, I was telling you about recently, we were out of town, and we went to this, we were staying in this resort and spa, which they were using. It was so interesting that they were using lavender oils, they were using chamomile oils, and to relax the body. And they had the nice soothing music in the background, which was the chanting. And I mean, for them to use this, and their clients are basically American.
Right.
And I was talking to the person who was giving me that massage, and she said, not only they do this, but they have, like for Ramana Maharshi, they have done Hatha Yoga and all that they also apply not exactly the yoga, quote unquote, or the Ayurveda, but they apply that in their day-to-day treatments.
Right.
Because how it relaxes the body.
Right. These oils and herbs and spices that are infused within the oil or taken separately, it serves a purpose. They have properties and qualities that serve different purposes throughout the body. That's why they're used. And because it's such an ancient type of a medicine and it's becoming more recognizable here in the US, it's serving a purpose. It has these properties and qualities that take care and enhance certain ailments in the body.
Seema, you mentioned here, that means in USA, but at the other side, many of the Ayurvedic medicines, or should we, I don't know whether we should call them medicines, because they are supposed to be herbal products or the natural products. They are sort of, they are under radar for FDA. They say whether they are good or not good because there are no studies for that. What do you say about that? Ashwagandha. Things like that, very simple things, but they are sort of, there's question mark about.
There are different brands of Ayurvedic products, and I think all these brands of Ayurvedic products are definitely legit and all natural and organic because they're all herb-based and spice-based. So for it to be FDA approved, hopefully one day, yes, once it comes and it takes off here in America, I think that's when it'll happen.
But some of them are not FDA approved.
Some of them are not, correct. I know I deal with a lot of Maharshi Ayurvedic products because I had attended Maharshi Ayurvedic school and learned Maharshi Ayurvedic medicine. So his products are really good, and I recommend all those to the patients that I see.
Okay. So how can one apply Ayurveda in our day-to-day life? I don't want to suppose have any problem per se to come to an Ayurvedic doctor, but at least I can use them in my day-to-day life to help me cope with the stress, cope with the tiredness. So what do you tell your patient about that?
I think that living in a simple, systematic way of life and having a daily routine in Ayurveda is called Dinacharya. It's very, very important. It's important because it balances the body, the mind, and the consciousness, and at the same time, it regulates the bodily functions of the body. So what you do is you have this basic routine in the morning, afternoon, and evening. What you do is that in the morning time, you wake up, and the first thing you do is you evacuate your bowels and your bladder. You brush your teeth, you scrape your tongue, you cut your nails, you shave your face if you're a man. You do a light massage for the body, on the body with coconut oil preferably. Then you wait for 10 minutes, you take a shower. You have a light breakfast, that's optional, depends on your body type. And then you do your type of meditation. I, for example, practice Maharshi Transcendental Meditation Technique, or any other type of meditation you practice. You do a meditation technique, and then you go on with your work or study throughout the day. And then in the afternoon, it's a very powerful lunch because that's when the digestive system is strongest during lunchtime. So you want a nice, heavy, hearty lunch. And then it's work or study, and after that is your meditation technique again, because it's usually in the morning and in the afternoon or early evening. And then in the evening time is when you wind down, you come home after work or study, and you're having a light breakfast with the family, casual conversations, maybe some light exercise, a little light massage to the head and the feet before bedtime, and it's bedtime. So following these certain guidelines as how to live day to day will just regulate and balance your entire physiology and your mind also. And that's what Ayurveda does. It integrates the entire body, mind, and consciousness of the person. It is a medicine, it is a science, it is a way of living, and it's very natural. And all these ways, all these different guidelines that Ayurveda preaches and all these aspects that it gives us, it's just so beautiful because it's very simple and anyone can go by it and live by it because of the simplicity of this medicine.
Seema, you mentioned the body type, and that's I think that's a core of Ayurvedic practice, because what kind of body type you have, Ayurvedic doctor can prescribe remedies or whatever the medicines or the herbs or the diet according to them.
Yes.
What are those body types?
So there's 3 types of body constitutions, and there's Vata, Pitta, and Kapha. Vata is what regulates the movement, the breathing, and the circulation of the body. Pitta is what metabolizes and digests. Kapha is it's the structure and what binds all the cells together.
We call them Vat, Pitta, and Kaph.
Vata, Pitta, Kapha. Yeah, Vata, Pitta, Kapha. So Vata people, because Vata is more of movement, breathing, and circulation, Vata people are very fast, ongoing, on the go, can't stop moving. Their mind is very Vata, constantly going on, doing two things at once. That's Vata type of people. And they're more towards the skinnier side, slimmer side. Pitta people are they're strong built, medium built. They're very authoritative, demanding type of people that, they like the authority type of figure. Dominating, yes. And Kapha people are more of the overweight maybe, or more of a little laid back, subdued, not more of a pushover, but maybe like a pushover type of a person.
But can you find that by just looking at the person?
No.
Or you have to have physically check them up?
So what we do as Ayurvedic practitioners and doctors is that we take the pulse of a certain individual, and it's called pulse diagnosis. What we do is by taking your pulse, we assess all the imbalances that are in the body and that are in the mind, and from that we can determine what your body type is. So you can be Vat, Pitta, or Kapha, all three, Vata, Pitta, Pitta, Kapha, Pitta, Vata, Pitta, Kapha, Kapha, Pitta, whatever. So to determine what you are, you can see an Ayurvedic practitioner, so we can take your pulse and see what body constitution you have. Or there's another way you can do it. If you don't have any access to see an Ayurvedic practitioner, you can definitely take a little quiz that determines what your body type can be, which is a very simple quiz that determines how you physically are and how you mentally are. Then that can also determine what type of body type you have.
And you don't look for any other sign or any other thing, just the pulse?
By the pulse, we can determine what body type you have.
Okay.
And that's one of my specialties too. What I do is that I take the pulse, and from the pulse we assess any imbalances in the body. And with that, we recommend any specific herbs for that body type or whatever ailment you have.
Now, one thing which I want to ask and make it very clear is when you said you recommend, whatever solution or the medicine you do, you have to have a license for that, don't you? Or you can just do that?
In New York State, it's more legal if you are a medical doctor or naturopathic doctor. Because I'm just a practitioner right now. I do have my master's in Ayurveda and I'm getting my doctorate in naturopathy. I talk to my patients and tell them that I'm recommending these things. They don't necessarily have to do it, and I'm not diagnosing them. I'm just telling them what I'm feeling and what my tuition is from what I take when I take their pulse.
And that you can do later when you finish your PhD or doctorate?
Oh yeah, then later on that will be fine, yeah. But right now it's how you what terms you use with your patient also. Like, I don't tell them I'm diagnosing because I'm not really diagnosing. It's an ancient 6,000-year-old art. It's a medicine, it's a science that people sometimes don't believe what it is, someone taking a pulse.
Suppose I'm a Vata person. I'm just for the heck of saying it. I don't know what I am. And I'm feeling tired. You take my pulse. And what do you recommend then for me?
Well, you're definitely a little bit Vata in the mind, I feel, because I've known you for some time. So I know your mind is very ongoing and it chatters a lot to itself. You're more of a Kapha built. So I think for you, foods that are very well unctioned is very necessary, and warm rather than the raw foods or the cold foods. And if you have any type of raw foods, you should only have it in the daytime rather than the nighttime.
That is something which is very important. I think most of people who practice ancient art, they say that the lunch is the most important time to have heavy meal.
Yes.
You should not have heavy meal later on in the evening. But the lifestyle here is different.
It's very different.
Don't eat in the daytime. The family gets together only in the evening.
Yes.
So what do you do at that time?
You got to be with your family sometimes. Sometimes you have to bend the rules and break the rules, and that's okay to do. I feel everything in moderation is fine. But the reason why we have our meals our heaviest meals during lunchtime is because that's when the sun is brightest in the universe. And because the sun is bright in the universe, we here on Earth have that fire in us, that an ability to digest the food even faster. So having a very heavy meal during lunchtime is very beneficial for you rather than having it during dinner.
That's true. I'm talking to Seema Sahni. She is an Ayurvedic practitioner and she's talking about how to apply to your day-to-day life just to cope with the day-to-day stress. And Seema is going to be pretty soon having her office, and she has a blog which every day she puts out advices about what one should do, what one should eat to have life, to become life more easier and enjoy life more. And we'll talk about your blog later on, but you mentioned on your blog, let's say for example, water, the benefit of water. Water can be very beneficial to a person.
Yes.
But too much of it can be harmful also at the same time.
Yes.
So what are your advice about water?
I think water is the miracle drug, and it can take care of so many problems that a lot of people don't really know, and a lot of people really don't drink water. Hot water especially is very beneficial for the body because it opens up all the channels of circulation throughout the body. It digests any of the ama, which is the undigested food particles that are sitting on the lining of the colon and stomach and the indigestion and in the intestines. So drinking a lot of hot water is very good for the body, especially in the morning time.
It's cleaning your body.
It cleanses, it's purifying, it's cleansing. You can have, I mean, I've been drinking hot water for a majority of my life, ever since I started MUM, because as students we were testing things out and to see how it would work for our body types. So having water all the time was something that we all got used to, especially some type of spice water, usually with some cumin seeds or fennel seeds in hot water. But now it's just mostly plain hot water, and it does a lot for the body. It purifies your skin, it helps with circulation, it really helps with bowel movements if one's constipated. In the morning, it's wonderful.
Usually the practice is to drink hot water in the morning, and then you can go on having regular tap water.
Yeah.
But you advise that every time you have water, it should be warm.
I prefer for clients to have hot water in the morning, and then throughout the day to avoid any ice cold beverages, especially water, and to have the water to be room temperature. It doesn't have to be lukewarm throughout the day, especially in the summertime. Room temperature is good. Anything ice cold, especially ice cold water, even any type of a beverage that contains ice, it's cold and it puts out the fire and it makes digestion very difficult. So anything room temperature is good.
Talking about digestion, many people say that the water should not be taken with meal.
Right.
What is the logic behind that?
You can sip on water here and there while you have your meal, but taking on a full glass of water, 12 ounce, 14 ounce of water, right before or during or right after is not good because it just interferes with digestion. It doesn't let the food properly assimilate in the body, and it dysfunctions the digestive process. So that's why it's recommended that if you do want water, you have it a little bit like an hour before your meals or during your meals. You can sip on it here and there, but nothing where you gulp down, where it doesn't help with digestion.
And as I mentioned earlier, right now, we just have finished with all the celebration with Diwali and everything, and people must have, we all had heavy dinners, heavy mithais and all that thing. So now how to balance out the body with all that extra food and extra fat and extra oil and sugar?
Well, I think the main thing you can do in the mornings is definitely take your hot water. And usually Diwali celebrations are during the nighttime and families and friends are gathering and having these heavy meals. I would recommend everyone to have it at a certain time, which would be 6 to 8. Anything after 8 p.m. shouldn't be good. Actually, anything after 7, but being Indian, it's very difficult to eat at a certain time. So I think between 6 to 8, having a dinner, especially a Diwali dinner with your friends and family, would benefit you more because by the time it's bedtime, 10, 11 o'clock in the night when Indians go to sleep, it would give the body enough time to digest the heavy meals that they have.
Yeah.
So to have a dinner earlier than expected, 6 to 8 would be better.
And you mentioned the benefit of oil.
Right.
Talk about that, please.
Oil is very beneficial for the body, and doing oil massages and self-abhyangas, it's called, to the body, it's very important, especially on a daily basis.
What kind of oil do you use? Any oil?
Sesame oil is recommended now because it's getting a little colder. In the wintertime, it's more of sesame.
In India, they do massage with the mustard oil, that.
Mustard oil, yeah. Mustard oil is good too.
Yeah.
And in the summertime, coconut oil is recommended because it's more of a cooling aspect.
Okay.
But to do a self-massage, always massage towards the heart upward towards the heart. Sometimes if there's hair on the body, you want to not disturb the movement of the hair, the vata aspect of the hair, so you want to massage downwards wherever the hair is growing, but usually all up towards the heart.
But it's very difficult to do massage to yourself.
It is. It's always better when you have someone else massaging you, especially in Ayurvedic massage, because the hands are very healing in Ayurveda. But to live in a disease-free society and to have all your bodily functions in balance, it's very important if you want to live that type of a lifestyle.
So you benefit of oil is on the massage?
Yes, most definitely.
It's good for skin? It's good
good
for circulation?
It's good for skin, it's good for circulation, it helps with good glow of the skin. It penetrates throughout the body and goes down to all the 7 tissues of the body and enhances that. So it's
Do
very
you use the
beneficial.
pressure points also?
In Ayurveda, I normally don't use much of the pressure points, but when you're doing the professional Ayurvedic massages, then yeah.
You do.
Yeah.
And what other advice you give to your friends or patients who come to you for advice?
It's usually a one-on-one consultation and, me taking their pulse and telling them what to do. But there's so many basic things in Ayurveda that anyone can do. For example, if you cannot sleep in the night, it's recommended if you take ghee and massage your feet with ghee, because ghee is very purifying and it's cooling and it helps with sleep. You can also take some coconut oil or ghee and just put it on the crown of your head and do a light 10-minute massage. That cooling effect just whooshes down the entire central nervous system, and that enhances sleep also.
Why ghee, not any other oil?
Ghee is best.
Ghee is best.
It's purifying. It's a clarified butter. It's very purifying. It's really good. And ghee is also included in a lot of our diets too, especially for Indians. It kindles the Agni. That's why it kindles the fire in the digestive system. That's why ghee or olive oil is recommended during cooking meals.
And according to Ayurvedic practice, what kind of food a person should, in general, avoid?
Anything
or it goes by the body?
It goes by the body, but the basic information is anything canned or processed. Definitely, in Ayurveda, we prefer warm, unction, well-cooked food rather than anything that's raw. Salads is a big thing in my household. We eat a lot of salad in our home, and I had recommended that we have it only during lunchtime because that's when our digestive fire is the strongest and that we can digest it properly rather than having it in the nighttime. So having salad is very important, I feel too, because it gives you all the nutrients of all the vegetables in a raw form, but to have it during lunch and not dinner.
Seema, at the end, quickly tell us about your blog.
I started blogging a couple of months ago, and it's a basic blog just on Ayurveda and some knowledge on Ayurveda and basic health. It's called ayurvedanyc.blogpost.com, or you can just go to my website, seemasahani.com, and it takes you directly to my blog.
So there you have, we were talking to Seema Sahani, and she mentioned her blog and her website also. Very basic, simple Ayurvedic tips are given there every day, and I hope you all take advantage of it and enjoy a healthy and peaceful life. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Seema. And the program continues right after this message.